I've led a very curious life. One of my great moments of curiosity happened on a cold winter night in Montreal. I was sitting at the kitchen table across from my father, who was very ill. And all around him, people were trying to help him. They were bringing water and medication and pillows. And the more people tried to help him, the sadder he got. And the sadder I got. I was looking for a way to bring a little joy into his life, and I didn't know what to do. But I remembered that he was a math teacher. And he loved asking questions on mathematics. So just on a whim, I looked at him and I said, "Papa, c'est quoi la racine carrée de 121? What's the square root of 121? And he looked at me and his face lit up. He said, "Mais c'est 11. It's 11. And I just saw within a few seconds how his face just lit up with one simple question. So why am I telling you this story? Because it's a perfect example of one of the things that has changed my life. I call it the superpower of curiosity. You know, there are a lot of wonderful virtues in this world, and I love them all. There's integrity and compassion and generosity and honesty. They're wonderful. But how could it be that this humble little virtue called curiosity has been so transformative for me? How could that be? How could it be that it has rescued me at my lowest moments, brought me the highest joys? This little virtue called curiosity. Why don't we start at the beginning? I'm 8 years old. We just moved from Casablanca to Montreal, Canada. And I fall in love with the English language. I desperately want to master English. So I pick up this thing called the Montreal Gazette, and every day I read this columnist that I fall in love with. And every day he gives me a new story about some little thing in Montreal. And it's nothing to do with the big news. This is not the Middle East. This is not Washington, D.C. These are little stories. A grandmother someplace in Montreal, an old golf course that they're going to close down. All these quirky little stories. And every day I fall in love with these little stories. And I dream that one day I might be that writer. And many, many, many years later, in a little neighborhood of Los Angeles, in August of 2006, I decide to write a little story, and I send it to a local paper. And they called me up, and they said, "We love this. We'd like you to write for us every week." That was August of 2006. 19 years later, I haven't missed a week. I became that person that I so looked up to. And it has completely changed my life. I've met hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, written thousands, asked thousands of questions. And throughout this whole thing, the more I got into it, the more I fell in love with the whole idea of curiosity. And everyone that I wrote a story about would call to thank me. And I'm saying, what are they doing? I'm supposed to be thanking them. The joy that I've received from writing these hundreds of stories has been immeasurable. It made me feel needed, validated, worthy. I thought that there were little kids in LA that might have been like I was in Montreal, opening up the paper, waiting for the next column. But then I noticed something else. Everyone that I met, none of them were curious. They all loved talking about themselves. But at no point did I ever feel a sense of curiosity. And it struck me that they're really missing out. And I decided to make this my life's mission, to become a champion of curiosity. and share with the world the blessings that I've received from curiosity. So I've tried to take 19 years of lessons and summarize my 19 years of writing weekly stories into 3 gifts that I personally have received from curiosity that I believe you too can get. The first gift I call brand new stories. We all know that we love stories. We love stories from Disney, love stories from movies, from books, from TV shows, from Netflix. Those are not the stories I'm talking about. Those stories are written by other people. The stories I'm talking about are the ones you're going to get when you visit your mother this week. And you're going to ask her all kinds of questions to get some new stories. The stories I'm talking about are the ones you're going to pick up at your next Thanksgiving dinner, when you're going to ask your uncle questions that you've never asked him before. Those are the stories when you're walking on the beach with your soulmate, when you're having lunch with a colleague, and you ask them questions you've never asked before. Those are the stories. And I call them brand new stories. What's the second gift that I've received from curiosity? This one's the more emotional one for me. Because curiosity can create the deepest love. We often think that love means giving. I love you, so I give to you. That's part of the story. Real love, the deepest love, the truest love, is when you make someone feel needed. When you go to your wife or your husband, instead of just sending him flowers, you ask, honey, I'm curious what you think. I have this new idea that I'm working on. I need you. I'm curious what you think. I guarantee you that has more worth than the most beautiful flowers. I'm curious what you think. I do it with my mother every day. When I call her and she lives in Montreal, I'm always asking her, Mommy, Eva's going to need some recipes for Rosh Hashanah. You're going to be around? Oh my God, you feel the life on the phone. Are you kidding? I can have a normal conversation with her. Everything okay? Sure. Kids are okay? Sure. But the minute I ask for a recipe for Rosh Hashanah, I can feel it on the phone. It's the deepest love there is when you make someone feel needed. That little question I asked my father. Tiny little question. What's the square root of 121? What's the third gift? And curiosity. It could make life an incredible adventure. I'll give you one example. One of the things in America that divides us like crazy is politics. Oh my God. This person does not vote like me. You are out of my life. I get it. One of the things I've discovered about curiosity, it can make me speak with the most unlikely people. I'm never afraid to engage with someone who completely disagrees with me. In fact, I see it as a challenge. Because instead of fighting, I ask questions. I want to know more about them. I want to know how they came to these views. What has nourished them in their lives? One of my closest friends is a practicing Muslim, and I'm a fervent Jew. I love him. And I'm always asking him. I'm so curious about the life that he's led. It's one of the bonuses of curiosity, is that you end up engaging with things you never thought you would. If I walk into a synagogue and I really do not like the melodies, the easiest thing to do is to judge. I don't like, I'm moving on. That's how so much of life happens today. Do you like the movie? No. Good, bad, like, no like. Like Facebook. Those are the shortest conversations in the world. The best conversations come out of curiosity. Tell me more. And that's the surprising gift. The third gift of curiosity can make life an adventure. You start to discover things you never thought you would. So let me summarize those three gifts, because I have homework for you in a few minutes. But first, I'll summarize the three gifts. The first one, brand new stories. You can lead your life creating the most amazing stories in your world. You don't have to change one thing. You don't have to go anywhere in your life, starting tomorrow or even tonight. You can become a collector of wonderful stories that you never thought existed. That's the first gift. And then the second gift is the deepest one for me, because it's about the ultimate purpose of life, which is love. Curiosity is the deepest love. I'm curious what you think is one of life's greatest love letters. And then finally, open yourself up to the adventures that curiosity can bring into your life. So here's the homework. Starting tonight, the very next phone call you have, the very next person you're going to come in contact with, it could be a family member, a friend, whatever it is. Ask them one question that you've never asked them before. And do that tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after, until the rest of your life. And curiosity will become your superpower. Thank you.